I just want to talk about how I graded the student design force lab. It was out of 40 points. Hey, look at this. I can draw on this. 40 points. Okay. And basically, each of the three aspects was worth 10 points, and then the graph and the data were 10 points. Aspect one, there should have been a statement of the problem. That was 5 points right there. And the statement of the problem should have had your dependent and independent variable in it. So you might have said something like, and a lot of people did this. The purpose of this lab is to determine the effect, if any, of angle of incline on the time it takes a marble to roll down an inclined plane. And so, having said that, you should have your dependent variable. That'd be the thing you measured in the maybe it was the time. Right, but you only have one dependent variable, one independent variable. Some of you are listing several, okay? And then the independent variable was the one that you manipulated or changed. Whoa, I'm trying to underline, okay? And then the controlled variables were the things that did not change, and you had to list them in your thing. And the best thing to do is to just list them out. Just say dependent are this, independent is this, controlled are these. And then the key thing there is, and a lot of you said this, the controlled variables include but are not limited to the following, right? And then the second aspect was just your procedure. Basically, if you had enough details there that somebody could replicate your lab by just reading your procedure, then you had enough details. I think you needed a diagram. Okay, you need to draw, here's an inclined plane, and we propped it up on books, and we measured this distance here. A lot of you didn't even give the length of the incline. If you used a plane in the freshman hall, which one did you use? How long an incline did you use? How did you release the object? That's sort of a key thing, right? A lot of people didn't talk about that. But if I thought, it was pretty good enough, that was 10 points. Not a lot of people didn't give enough details. A lot of people forgot the diagram, though. So just give me a diagram, turn it back in. And then the third aspect was the simplest one, right? You just had to talk about your variations in your trials. I did 5 variations, right? I did 3 degrees and 5 degrees and 10 degrees, 15 degrees, and 25 degrees, or whatever it was, right? And then we did 3 trials of each. Isn't that cool? I love that. I can draw on stuff, right? And then the data, you should have your data, should have had the units. A lot of people forgot the units. And then the graph. Some people didn't. Some people made their graph on like notebook paper. I want you to use either graph paper or use Excel. Okay, and then when you do the graph, you're independent, and most people did this, right? The independent went this way and dependent goes this way, right? When you give the title of the graph, right, it is dependent versus independent, right? So it's y-axis versus x-axis. But that's not a huge deal. The graph should have had its axes labeled. It should, with units and what it was. It should have had a title. But yeah, there you go. I hope that helps.